I was reflecting on how there's a book by Martin Buber, B-U-B-E-R, I believe is his name. And I remember when I was 26, I dated a woman who was only 19. Her parents were into Buddhism and contemporary psychology and just pretty conscious family as far as families go. You know, like every family, they had their stuff, but overall there was a lot of consciousness. And she had 2 copies of this book. When I started dating her, very early on, maybe within the first week, she gave me one of the copies to read. And I wasn't into philosophy, psychology, spirituality at that point, so I probably just scanned it or something. But later on, I discovered what it was about. I, thou versus I, it is the fundamental point of this book, and that is an interaction with another person that is I, thou. Thou is calling forth the divine in the other person. When you speak authentically and vulnerably and openly to another human being, and you show the divine in yourself, and you honor the divine in the other person, and you listen with intent and a clear kind of openness, that brings forth the divine energy in your connection with another person. I believe he called the opposite of that I, it, and that is an object type consciousness with another person. A classic example would be, you run into your postal delivery person and they say, "How are you?" And you say, "I'm fine, how are you?" And they say, "I'm fine." And there's no real contact, there's no real presence in the interaction, it's just playing out a script. In our personal relationships, the way we share, the way we relate to others, that can also fall into I-it patterns in which we are not connected to the divine essence. I mean, it's a pretty powerful thing to be at your essence a spirit, and we all are. And because we can't see that with our eyes, we can forget that. But that's what we all are. We're all spirits. And we're integrated with this form, but we can easily forget that. And I believe that as we have I-thou connections with each other, we bring a more high vibrational existence into our manifested experience. And that if we bring an I-it kind of interaction into our life, which is easy to slip into, especially with texting and brief little emails on smartphones, Twitters and Facebook posts, and it's all contact, it's communication. But having a good conversation on the phone or in person or a long heartfelt email, all these different kinds of more contactful ways of interacting with another person, they can get lost in the mix of the 140 characters or less kind of interactions, and brief little texts and things like that. It does satiate that part of us that wants to be a tribal being, a member of a connected group. But you can have, greater contact with a stranger, even if you don't know anyone. You can just be authentic and present with a stranger that you run into, and have more I-thou present, real energy in your life than somebody that has, 1,000 Facebook friends, but doesn't really create contact with any of them. So, who is more fulfilled? I think the person who has a divine presence with a stranger feels more spirit in their life than a person who's just, playing out roles and juggling lots of interactions but not really sharing or being present or hearing or deeply listening with another. So those are some thoughts about the I thou versus the I it connection, and how we may manifest one or the other of those in our interactions.